First of all, I just want to say, look, very grateful for what we received yesterday, for being recognised. This doesn't belong to me. This belongs to all those who walked alongside me through the whole journey. It's a award that belongs to all the people, and especially the people of the Pacific Justice, who are strong in the advocacy of what we're doing. So to answer your question about the visa, what we filed for was simply this: 3.2 billion people around the world can access New Zealand direct or via Australia and get a 3-month visitor's visa on arrival at the airport. There are less than 16 million people of the Pacific, and we have to apply to come to New Zealand. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's an insult to the Pacific people, and we're determined to fix those insults. And so we have said to New Zealand, this is what we want. We want the Pacific nations to arrive into New Zealand and get a 3-month visa stamped into their passport on arrival. And this is a visitor's visa only. Nothing more, nothing less, right? And so these are the rules we have put around this. If anybody overstays this 3 months, they will be barred from returning to New Zealand for 10 years. Because I'm adamant not one person is going to spoil it for everybody else, because this is what continues to happen. And don't forget, we have been labelled all the time as overstayer, overstayer, overstayer. That's the sledgehammer that New Zealand have used continuously against us. So what are the rules I put around? I said, if you overstay, you don't come back for 10 years. But I said, overstaying has been the creation of New Zealand immigration themselves. Why? Because you wait a long time to get a visa. And it's so difficult to get it. So when you get a visa, you're going to stay as long as you can. Why? Because there's no guarantee you can come back tomorrow. There is the creation of overstaying for everybody. And what we advocate is this: if a person comes and gets a 3-month visa stamped in the passport at the airport as an arrival, a visitor's visa, at the end of that 3-month period, if they leave immediately, they can either go to Fiji, to Australia, or back to Samoa and come back that day or the next day and be issued another 3-month visa immediately, no questions asked. On that basis, why should you overstay? Why should anybody overstay? And I said, the New Zealand immigration have been the creator of a lot of the problems that we face in New Zealand. And the biggest problem that I come up with is simply this: it is not the person that's travelling who is the problem. The problem, very simple, is the aingas in New Zealand, too much whia poko, will fix it, and then the person becomes an overstay. And so one of the things we've advocated is this: we don't blame the people who overstay, we blame the New Zealand immigration again. Because about 30 years ago, they had said, we will establish registered immigration consultants to handle this. Yes. They never policed that, because other people are putting these applications. And as you all know, that people have paid people money, and they trusted them to do the applications. No process was undertaken, and then these people become overstayers, penalised as overstayers. What I'm asking for is that these people, if they voluntarily come forward now and come back, they come back with a clean slate, which is no penalty, there's no overstay notification on their passport, and that they should be allowed to reapply and come back. And that's what we're asking for. Now, what is the problem with that? Nobody, and I mean nobody who's overstayer, can trust or believe New Zealand immigration staff. They see this as a trick to catch them. And I trust them, I believe them, they're right. And so I'm saying we need a third-party group who can handle this, who has the confidence of the people to come forward and do this. And these are the issues we've got to go through. The other thing I have said is this: yes, there are people who overstayed. And yes, there are people who are working in companies and doing a good job, and those companies want to keep. We should allow those people to voluntarily come back and immediately apply for a visa to go to New Zealand and live and work, and they should be given that. Because they should be given that to fill all the numbers of the quota that have never been filled. never been filled. And those companies are going to give them a job to come back to. Now, this is how we overcome problems and help, and instead of the idiotic stuff that continues to go with the New Zealand immigration. So where are we with it now? I talked to the government petition committee, which is made up of 4 people, and that is 2 from National, 1 from the Greens, and Labour chairs that committee. I said, I'm going away, I need to get answers on this thing. I didn't want them to make a decision without talking to me to make sure they fully understand where I'm coming from and the argument. So they said, and I said, I'm away here this week, and then I'm off to Egypt and Turkey until the middle of July. They said, that's fine, we will talk to you then when you come back. And I am hoping that they will make a decision and present to the House of Parliament before the House rises in September for the elections. And my gut feeling is very strong. They have nowhere to go. They have to find a solution for the people of the Pacific. We cannot be treated like this anymore.
Do you think this would be a good issue to campaign before the next New Zealand general election?
Well, absolutely. I can tell you right now that Winston Peters and the New Zealand First have been strong supporters of us on this right from the beginning. You may have seen it. I presented him the petition on the 11th of February, and he publicly spoke and said, this is wrong, we've got to find a solution. I have given our people a message for a long time. There's only one who stands behind us, and I'm asking the Pacific people in New Zealand, you can vote who you like in your electorate. I'm not taking that away from you. All I ask is you give New Zealand First your party vote. We need to give Winston a very strong vote in the party vote to give him the power within a coalition discussion to get the things and protect the Pacific people. And he will do that. So that's where I see it. But I can honestly tell you this, that we know Labour is now supporting this. We know the Greens support this strongly, and I'm sure Te Pāti Māori, as they did with citizenship, will support us as well. I know that the ACT Party is thinking seriously of leaning to support this. One thing I will say about them, if something is wrong, they will stand up and try to get it sorted out. We won citizenship because Winston Peters, New Zealand First, and the ACT Party supported the Samoan citizenship as per the Privy Council to the first reading. When we got to the first reading, we had what we wanted. We are now going to go to the second reading where a select committee process will go through, and they had 25,000 submissions in support of this. So much so that even members of that committee were in tears listening to the submissions from people. At the end, the National Party had nowhere to go and had to come and join us. So for me, my anger is still there. It's not what I wanted. It's about 80%. Because the Privy Council was very clear. It said, a woman born after the 1st of January 1949, married to somebody born between 24 and 49, has the same rights. And the New Zealand Immigration and Internal Affairs are not accepting that. They said there's a process they can make an application. I said, I don't want that application. The Privy Council is very clear. They're just holding things up for nothing. It's like money making an inconvenience for nothing. And it's absolutely, it's not acceptable. And we will go back with a petition on this to say this has to be sorted as per the Privy Council decision. So that's where we're sitting with that right now. So I just want our people to know nothing stops. It's slow. That's how process takes place. Just trust me and this committee of mine who are so committed and dedicated. I've had many committees in my life, but the Pacific Justice people are different.
Since the chairman visited Anae in Samoa in this time of the independence, I understand or believe if you had time to have a casual talk with our Prime Minister and raise the same issue, what's his reaction?
I've got to say this. Previously, no other Prime Minister has supported me. They seem to think it was important. In the beginning, Tuleepa didn't believe this was possible. It could never happen. So he said, I'm more or less getting people aroused to do this, and he believed it wasn't going to happen. I didn't accept that. I said, no, we will get there. And in Fiamea's case, she didn't support the visa thing. She wouldn't talk to me. The CEO of Foreign Affairs stopped me on 2 occasions. I spent money to come here because I wanted to have a meeting with the Pulingu'us and the Mafkanga Kinga. They are the power holders that would have been able to sign this petition and got a lot more than we got. We got 50, just under 50,000. In the beginning I'd said I want 1 million across the Pacific. Where did we fail and get the number? It was very hard to get those forms back signed. So we went to the QR code, which was the easy access, and we got up close to 50,000 in a short period of time. The problem with that is this. It was a simple process. You click it and you're in there. You give your name, first name and Christian name, but you had to give an email address. And not everybody has an email address. And I went back and I said, we need to change this to mobile phones. They didn't accept that. So today, when I talk about the next subject, about the quota, it is very important we get this information out loud and strong now to our young people who understand all this, to make the vote for on behalf of the families. It'll be the same vote. I expect we'll get 100,000 is what I want out of Samoa, right? So as far as the visa is concerned, that's where we are. All I say to our people, trust us, we've done everything we can. We have motivated the people of government to think about this. We have Winston on our side, we have the Greens backing us, and I'm sure the others are there except for National as per usual. We are hoping that we will get a result before they go to election on that basis.
What your response to my question, you stop at Finlay. What about Lauli right now?
Lauli has been the only Prime Minister of Samoa who has taken on board everything I've been trying to do and supported 1,000%. Absolutely. You know, Winston said to me he wanted to back me. He was conscious and concerned that Fiamare was worried about mass migration. And I said to him, this is not mass migration. This is just to sort out the visas on arrival. So when Lauli became the Prime Minister and we met, he supported everything I have said openly and publicly. And when Winston got that, he came immediately on board and said, this is what we're doing. So, you know, Samoa, I just want to say this. We have a Prime Minister right now who understands the needs of the people. And I've been here and I've been astounded as how the independence celebrations have gone, and to see people from all over the world supporting Fast Camp, and to see him take the people under his wings as part of the journey. Because in politics, people forget. The most important thing about politics is people, And tangata whenua in New Zealand have had this right. He tangata, he tangata, he tangata. It is people, it is people. And so for Samoa, I say, we have someone who's going to stand by Pacific justice and what we are trying to do to get results for the benefits of our people. And I really salute him for what he's done. And he will carry us a long way.
Come to the quota scheme. Our people who are lucky, you know, in the draw, this is another hardship they face. It's getting a work permit.
Yeah.
How are you going about with approaching this issue right now?
First of all, the quota was when it was sorted out, set up to fail. Absolute failure. They gave with one hand and took it back on the other because nothing happened, right? Now I'll put it to you this way. When it first started, they said the person had to get a job offer from New Zealand from someone who's never met them, and they've never met them, got no qualifications, and expected the Samoan to get paid a job of $15 an hour in New Zealand when the minimum wage in New Zealand was $7. Now who's going to take somebody from Samoa with no experience and pay them $15 with a minimum of $7? That was absolutely ludicrous and ridiculous, right? So back in 2003, I took this up with Phil Goff, Minister of Immigration. He said, I think you're right. So we made some adjustments. But still today, they are required to get a job offer from offshore, which is impossible to do because then immigration knocks on the door. What do you give them a job for? There's unemployment in New Zealand. This type of rubbish goes on, right? And it also opens up corruption that happens all over the world where people are selling jobs. I mean, I don't think the intention in Samoa to sell jobs was under the table and unscrupulous. No, I think there were people trying to find solutions for people's problems, genuinely. But people seem to forget there's time and money in doing this, and somebody has to pay. And they complain they've paid the money, got nothing, and got no refund. First of all, let's understand the people tried. The failure wasn't theirs, was some other clause. So I just want to say that on the table so there's some understanding in that area. So where are we with this right now? I have filed a petition, and my petition simply says that when a person's name is drawn from the ballot, that New Zealand Immigration issues them a 6-month work permit that allows them to come immediately, and they are responsible for finding the job. They can now face the person, meet the person, talk to the person, and get something happening. If we do that, great, we've made some success, and the quota may be filled, which has never been filled before, right? And I've said, if these people after a 6-month opportunity don't get a job offer, they return, and they must come back. And if they decide they're going to overstay, they're going to pay 10-year penalty. They're not coming back. Because my whole philosophy of this, I don't want one person to stuff everything up for everybody else, because that happens too often. So that's where we are right now. So what needs to happen here in Samoa? I'm asking for your support. We have the, it'll be in Frankie's stores. This is going to go on, right? The barcode is there. Sorry, the barcode is there. All you have to do, and I'm saying for our young people should help the parents and grandparents and themselves by going to the barcode and voting now. Right? That's what we need to do. If we want to succeed, we have to send a very strong message to New Zealand. We are not going to take this rubbish anymore. And change has to happen, and happen fast. Right? And so the purpose of this visit and to meet the media was I wanted you to understand this, because let's face it, irrespective of what I do or what my team does, you govern everything. You're the voice of the people. You can lead the people in the right directions. And I'm thankful that May at Frankie's is backing us, and she'll put these up in all her stores to get our message across. I'm hoping our written media will help us by publishing this as well. I mean, I want people to understand this is extremely important, right? We need to fix it now. And even the young people, they have to realize they themselves will fall into this situation in the future. When I watched the march past the other day, my heart was pounding, and I say to myself this: there are thousands of children here, and there's a lot more that aren't here. There's some that not going to school. Where is their future? Where is their future here in Samoa? Which takes me to my other thinking that I've said for a long time. Pui pui Samoa mo kai au. Ne wa makanga ave kak whango isi. Whela ngofoi kamakingi. Whela ngofoi Samoa yasulu. Right? What we should be doing is issuing these people who want to come here and set up in business a 5-year permit that they can renew, which means they are only a visitor working here for a period of time and never will become a citizen and never have the right to buy Samoa's land. We've only got a very small amount of land when you think about it. Where do you think we're going to live tomorrow? Do we really think New Zealand and the rest of the world is going to open the door for us to flow in? I don't think so. We are now seeing a complete change of thinking around the world. Look what Trump's doing in America. He will pay that penalty. With all those South Americans going back, he'll have nobody looking after their farms. And the same will happen with New Zealand if the Filipinos and everyone goes back. New Zealanders don't want to work the farm. So there's so much change. You've seen the change in Australia where Pauline Hanson's gathering momentum. You've seen it in Europe, in the UK with Fabergé. He's doing the same. There's a change thinking going around the world. But Samoa is unique. We fought hard, and I'm glad that Lauli's gone backwards. Research the history. We need to teach our people the history of Samoa and relive it and be thankful. And our young people need to know we are here because Samoans in history made the sacrifice to give us today. That's important.
Hello, thank you.
My plan, I'll never give up on what I'm doing. My team will never give up. And I've said publicly, be careful. When I die, there's a big army following me that's going to give you a harder time than I'm giving you.
Are you going to do it one by one?
Yeah, this year we're attacking this about the visa and the quota. Next year I want to come back and start reminding Samoa here that the Samoans in New Zealand, in 1999, 1st of October, we got the portability of pension through. That was the first thing that I passed in Parliament, supported by Bill Birch. And I can tell a story about that, where it happened. But they, after living and working in New Zealand for 20 years, they can retire to Samoa and they can get their full pension. There's something in the way which we have to clear up, which I accepted at the time because I wanted it to happen. This ruling that says they have to come back to New Zealand and spend 5 years between age 50 and 65. I think that's a very stupid thing to continue doing. From New Zealand's perspective, they are New Zealanders. When they come home, they can access everything they want from New Zealand. Does New Zealand really want to continue that? No. If they think logically and economically, the best thing is say, you come back, you have your 65th birthday in New Zealand, and you retire and apply for portability of your pension, and it's all over. And that's what we need to do, and we will advocate that next year to get that through right there. And whatever comes up, we will look at. I mean, my agenda is very clear. Whatever has been going on for too long in the treatment of the Pacific people for entering New Zealand to live or to visit has to be changed. And New Zealand has a responsibility to do this. And I want to talk to the Australians about it as well. You know, what annoys me, I said there's 3.2 billion people that allow here. I'm going to tell you, some of those people we went to war with. Some of those people have done nothing, and I mean nothing, for New Zealand. We, the Pacific people, built up the economy of New Zealand by manning the factories that became the export sector. That's what we did, and they've ignored that. And again, if we don't stand together now and keep fighting, and I mean keep fighting, never give up, never say die, we know our rights and we refuse to be treated anymore by New Zealand immigration, by this. Now I've got to say this, but my attack is the New Zealand immigration and the immigration minister, not the people. Because I tell you this much, whenever I talk to the Palangis, they say, "Are you crazy? We always thought you had every right to be here." They did. The Palangis believe that, thought that, until I start telling them. They just shake their heads and say, "What the hell? What's going on? What is going on?" You know. And as you know, my sister, Mr. Taveve Ruby Marcila Milani, who heads up the Dawn Raids situation, they spend their whole lives travelling to schools throughout New Zealand. The young kids want to know, and they can't believe that New Zealand did this to the Pacific people. They can't believe it. So there's a lot of things going on in the background. We are educating the future of New Zealand to know the wrongs, and I'm telling you, most of the people of New Zealand support the Pacific people, because as I keep saying, there is nothing, and I mean nothing, in New Zealand that we can't achieve. We have done it all. We've lifted New Zealand to many heights of the world. You know, you've seen our singers, our opera singers, and you know, Penny's just been awarded a knighthood by the French, and the New Zealanders are still sitting on their hands about this. And you take Margie Upper, Samoan, born in Otara, headed New Zealand's biggest government department, health. She did that. So don't even damn well tell us we can't do anything, because we've proved many, many times, you give the people of the Pacific the opportunity to show you what we can do, and we will show you. And we don't fail. And stop hanging, overstaying over our heads all the time, because there's a lot of rubbish. Because right now the overstaying number for Pacific people is about 4,000 people in total. And they make an issue of that. 4,000 is minuscule. We worked it out with 0.78%. 0.78% of the overstayers in New Zealand are Pacific people. You can't even make a sandwich out of that number. And that's how stupid it is. They've got to wake up and realise these things, you know. And all these people who have put up this argument of overstaying, it's about time they put that behind. They put that behind and realise that we are the people of New Zealand. The Tangata Whenua are our cousins. And if you listen to Winston, Winston says the people of the Pacific are the cousins of this country and they should be not treated this way. So that's where our strength. So I'm confident something is going to happen. Trust me. Come with the Pacific Justice on the journey. Join us, be part of us, and let's go together and succeed on behalf not of just Samoa, of all the people of the Pacific. And there's less than 16 million of us.
Do you think Labour is going to lead before the next general election, or New Zealand first?
My vision and my dream is simply this. If people will listen to what I'm saying and give New Zealand their party vote, first the party vote, it puts Winston in a powerful position when the discussions take place of the coalition. I think New Zealand owes the most experienced politician they have today. And he can chew them all up and spit them out. All of them. Nobody comes close. Is make Winston Prime Minister now. At the age of 81, he will re-lead New Zealand in a way that says our people come first. And politics, like Luxon, doesn't understand this. Politics is a marriage of economics and the social needs of the people. And the social needs of the people have the upper hand. You can't fill a black hole overnight and have people burning. Because when people burn, the end result is mental problems, issues happening within society which shouldn't happen, because people are pushed in the corner to react. Right? And I asked this question. He's talking about dumping 9,000 bureaucrats out of the government into the streets. Now, if you're earning 80 to 100,000 a year and suddenly you drop down to get the benefit, how do you live? How do you live with your wife and your children who've lived a lifestyle like this coming to this? Have they thought what could happen? And what have they thought the health situation that comes out of this and the mental stress that comes out of this? Have this attitude, I'm all right, Jack, bugger you. And I don't buy that. Watch this space. Winston will ride as the kingmaker again, absolutely. We just wanted him to be the king. That's where we're coming from.
Thank you, Anae.